Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, having a nice day.
Good. What have you been up to?
Um, Painting. We were rip stripping wallpaper off the living room and replastering a bunch of things. So now we're on to painting, and hopefully the walls will have color tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
How exciting.
that's cool. What colors are you going for?
A nice soft gray, like it's slightly towards a brown color, but it's really like warm and
Yeah,
cozy.
natural. That sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
natural.
Would you describe it as a contemporary shade of mushroom?
A contemporary shade of mushroom. Yeah, could be.
What's the name of the color? Does it have a really
Oh, what is it called?
obnoxious name?
It's let me find out. Inferior gray.
Oh,
It is the lesser of the grays.
I was about to say what superior grey look like.
This is it. There is no superior gray.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the colors we've chosen for things are like our green is invisible.
Is that what
Invisible
it's called?
green.
Invisible green.
Yep, it's invisible green. And there was another one that we were going to use for something that was like,
I think they're playing with you there.
Hmm?
I think they're playing with you there with that name. Invisible.
yeah, I was like, we picked out a bunch of colors that all didn't exist in some way. Like lesser than, invisible, fading. But yeah,
That sounds fun. Yeah.
but it'll be nice. It won't be stupid magnolia colored anymore.
Oh, that's cool.
I can't remember what color we were gonna do this room. I think it was a different company that we were going to get paint for this room from because I don't have anything marked here.
Okay.
But
Imaginary blue.
Imaginary blue.
Fictitious yellow. Yeah.
I think it was a darker brown. It might have been like this. I've got this one marked flaxen gray, which is like on my screen it looks very, very boring, but it's kind of brownish.
Okay.
Like it's a nice cozy brown. I'm into the cozy grayish browns.
Yeah.
But this one, the one for the living room, is a bit more bluish.
Yeah. Cool. Fab.
Yeah. Exciting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have the books back on the bookshelves instead of in stacks in the hallway.
Ooh,
and I'm just so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Katie? Yeah. Awesome.
How have you been?
Definitely not more interesting than Ainsley's decoration.
Have you got a box of food there?
I have a chocolate hen, which I got at Easter and have not eaten.
Ah, that's fun.
Aww. Are you gonna smash it?
I'm going to smash bits off it. I like to
Satisfying.
keep the whole.
It looks like it's got poppy seeds or something in it.
It's white chocolate with bits of dark chocolate.
Ah, okay.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Hi, Robert.
Hello.
Hey, haven't seen you for ages. How's things?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just been. Well, I had my partner staying here for a while, so that sort of changed my routine a bit.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
You been up to anything fun today?
Yeah, so I had a good day. So we went round to a friend's house. So she's used to live in Leicester and she's moved back to Manchester to get more work in the theatre. She's a costume designer. So the house she's in at the moment, yeah, it's cool. She's got one with a nice big garage. So lots of people around here are doing it. I'm not actually sure what the rule is, but people seem to be just having like garage things rather than being totally outside. So I guess three walls and then just a garage door wide
open up the big door and
yeah, I think we found a loophole there, but it's good. So we were just playing board games all afternoon. It was great. We were playing things like Azul and Love Letter and just catching up. It was nice. So it's her and her housemate who I know already as well. So
nice.
That's nice that they've moved in and nice that I know them both as well. So that's good.
Ideal.
Yeah, it was great.
Sounds like a nice day.
Yeah. And I got treated to Rocky Road chocolate biscuit things. Very
with
tasty.
Marshmallows in them.
That's it. Yeah, marshmallows. Well, I'm not sure.
Good.
They definitely had raisins and kind of crumbly cookies and things.
Oh.
It was good. It's tasty.
Yeah. Sounds delicious.
Yes, that's been my day. And played Wordsmith, which is kind of a Scrabble clone with Mum online earlier, and I beat her, which never
You do
happened.
not normally.
No, I don't. She's always very good. I think I got maybe a bit lucky with the tiles, and yeah, it's good.
Nice. I should look it up. My mom will probably like it too.
Yeah, it's good implementation. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, Wordsmith.
Wordsmith.
It's you can either pay for the non-ad version, but even the
.org?
ad version, it's just very non-intrusive advert. It's just like a tiny little banner at the bottom, rather than Words with Friends. It's like click on this, play this, download this, like every 5 seconds.
What's the site, or is it?
It's an app, so it's
an
Wordsmith, but it's an ambidextrous. It works on both your iPhone and Android.
Nice.
So we do cross-play. Yeah,
Nice.
it's good. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Stupid question, Mike. Do you ever live in Bristol, or were you always Manchester?
No, I've always been Manchester. I've never actually been to Bristol. It's on my list of places to go. I want to do the Seven Sinners thing at some point. I need to go down and visit Charlotte and people. Yeah, so.
For some reason, when you said Manchester, I was like, oh yeah, here's Manchester. But for some reason, my brain, I was thinking until that point, oh, you're Bristol. I don't know.
Sorry, no, there's a lot of people in Bristol.
There's
so
a lot of Bristol people, yeah.
It's a pretty safe assumption if you just guess. Either Glasgow or Bristol. You get most people. Yeah. I'm one of these outliers that lives not in Glasgow or Bristol. Yeah.
Shocking. Such things are just wrong. Says the other person who is also an outlier.
Yeah, Edinburgh.
There are quite a few Edinburgh people. They just tend to stay with the Edinburgh people. They're a bit less gallivanty.
I was thinking what that you were referring to the group that's in Storytime, and it's like, or that Mike was referring to the Storytime group.
Yeah.
Which is mostly not Edinburgh, really.
Hey.
Hello.
How are you?
I am good. How about you?
Oh,
Happy
good, thank you very much.
birthday.
Hey.
Oh, it's today, isn't it? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, it's been tasty.
Tasty. Yeah. That's a good thing for a birthday to be.
What fun things have you been doing?
Oh, literally all of our plans have revolved around food because we're back in lockdown. So what have we been doing? We went and got takeout from a really nice gluten-free vegan place because I have a really hard time ordering food these days. Got a super good sweet potato burger with sprouts on a sourdough bun and avocado and tasty spicy shit. And tonight we're gonna make vegan dauphinoise and have tofu marinating and shit like that. So that's gonna be really good. So it's pretty much been like a chill day of honestly reading poetry, talking on the phone, doing drugs, and hanging out. So
sounds nice.
It's been pretty good.
Katie, do you have new artwork behind you? Or is this a new wall that I've not seen before?
This is the same wall. It's just you usually don't get the artwork. You usually get the back of the book.
Yes, I see now. Yes. I'm slowly stitching together your house in my.
You have to come and visit.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. Thank you. It's like when you do one of those 360 photos on your phone. You have to take loads of different photos.
I don't actually, but yeah.
That's what it is with your house in my head. I've got like sections.
You're like gradually moving around, picking out the things.
Yeah.
Filling in the puzzle. Well, shall we start? I think that you're all the people that I was expecting or have heard from, so I'm not sure we're expecting anybody else. Yeah. I've got one that I thought I'd start with, which is called A Small Kindness by Danusha Lamaris. I've been thinking about the way when you walk down a crowded aisle, people pull their legs to let you by, or how strangers still say, bless you, when someone sneezes. A leftover from the bubonic plague. Don't die, we're all saying. And sometimes, when you spill lemons from your grocery bag and someone else will help you pick them up, mostly we don't want to harm each other. We want to be handed our cup of coffee hot, and we want to say thank you to the person who's handing it, to smile at them and for them to smile back, for the waitress to call us honey when she sets down the bowl of clam chowder, and for the driver of the red pickup to let us pass. We have so little of each other now, so far from tribe and fire, only these brief moments of exchange. What if they are the true dwelling of the holy, these fleeting temples we make together when we say, here, have my seat. Go ahead, you first. I like your hat.
Oh, that's cute.
That's so nice.
It's very lovely.
Does anybody else want to go next? I've got a few, but we can like alternate and move around.
How many have people got?
I have plenty.
I think, Mike, you said you had 4.
Yeah, I've got up to 4. Yeah, depends what kind of vibe we go down.
6 or 7.
I'm around the 5 point as well.
I can read poems for as long as people want, of varying levels of relevance.
Okey-doke.
Mine are way
it's
more.
The relevance thing.
Mine are definitely more on the connection side than the kindness side. Though, I mean, if nobody has decided they're reading Kindness by Naomi Shihab Nye, it would seem wrong for someone not to. Okay, good. Mike, you are?
No. I'm saying I was putting my hand up because mine are all on kindness. So I haven't got any on connection at all. So if you want to do a split down the middle, depends how you want to curate it.
I have one on connection that I just heard a quote from in the TV show I was watching and then went and looked up.
Okay.
It seemed relevant.
That's very topical. Yeah. I love it when things like that happen.
If that
you want to go now?
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's by Rainer Maria Rilke.
Hey.
It's called Love Song.
Nice.
How can I keep my soul in me so that it doesn't touch your soul? How can I raise it high enough past you to other things? I would like to shelter it among remote, lost objects in some dark and silent place that doesn't resonate when your depths resound. Yet everything that touches us, me and you, takes us together like a violin's bow, which draws one voice out of 2 separate strings. Upon what instrument are we to stand? And what musician holds us in his hand, O sweetest of songs?
Oh, that's lovely.
I love that imagery.
I have one that, since Lyric was like, can I bring love poems? I've got one called A Love Letter to the Milky Way, which might validate the future love poems that I think we're going to get from Lyric. This is by Drew Dellinger, who, and a love letter to the Milky Way. I want to tell you about love. There are approximately 1 trillion galaxies I want to tell you about in the Milky Way. There are about 100 billion stars I want to tell you. Love is the breath of the cosmos. I want to write a love letter to the Milky Way. Everything is an expression of the galaxy. My 30 trillion cells, the 4 noble truths, the 8-fold paths, the 5 precepts, the 7 energy centers of the body, everything is the Milky Way, including my lover, and every kiss of every lover that has ever lived. The deep sky, the ubiquity of spirit, the DNA of dreams, the interlocking patterns of the cosmic constellations. Cosmos and justice are synonymous with beauty, but parts of the Milky Way don't give off light. Sometimes it feels like I've got ground zero in my heart. The dark sun bleeds shadows. The dark sun leaves shadows on everything. The forecast calls for scattered and broken skies. If there wasn't so much love, there wouldn't be so much pain. It's like love is the nervous system of the universe, bringing us joy and sorrow. I inherit the voice of the Milky Way in my dreams. The entire galaxy revolves around a single drop of wine. Your skin, the texture of the cosmos, the religion beyond religion. I want to know you like the wind knows the canyons and the rain knows the rivulets. Lightning is continuously striking in 100 places at every moment. The universe spills through our dreams. The future belongs to the most compelling story. Even the word love is not adequate to define the fabric of space-time. If we could sense everything at once, like Krishna entering history with all the memory of his past incarnations, then I could tell you about love.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, I was like, I just discovered it last night and I was like, I'm in love with it.
Oh,
It's so
wow.
good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where did you find that?
I'm reading a book called World as Lover, World as Self by Joanna Macy, which she's the one who translates a lot of the Rilke that I love.
I
Or
see.
she's the main translator of Rilke that I think I know. Yeah, she's the one I know most of the translation of.
Okay. Oh, cool.
And she's really involved in Buddhism. I don't think she's ever been a monastic, but she's like very involved, in one of her reasons for loving Rilke is kind of the connections between his work and Buddhist practice. So yeah, hence the kind of like Buddhist and Hindu references throughout that one. So it's a book about like social justice and activism through religious practice.
I mean, I have another love poem that's also a little social justice and activism, but it's like very different vibe.
Nice.
But it's hard to know what to do after a poem like the one you just read. I'm like, whoa.
Sorry, maybe I should have left it to the end.
Oh, it's so good.
I could read something shorter, or you could go. I
I
think
could read
anything
one
could come
about Northern
after.
Lights, which
Do
is
the
sort
thing.
of about love.
Nice.
And, you know, Northern Lights, Milky Way, tenuous connection.
Yeah, that works.
It's
Space.
close enough. It works.
Yep.
Ooh. And this
Oh
is
man, if
by-
anyone ever wants to see some Northern Lights photography, by the way, one of my old bosses from back in my retail days just won an award for Northern Lights photography, and she lives just outside of Winnipeg, and holy shit, there are cool things to look at. So if you want to geek out at space pictures, let me know. I will send you a million.
Nice.
So this is a poem called Northern Lights, and it's by Joe Shapcott, who is from Shetland, I think. We watched the islands from the waterfront, as though they held a clue to what was next. The wind built up in gusts to match our hearts and blew the cafe chairs into the water. Police in boats fished out the furniture with poles, making us laugh until the chuckles rolled through us like the whale's back rolls through water, like the islands stretched through the North Seas. I have stolen some of the light which drenches you this midnight, to wish you all the islands in the world, and everyone a different kind of peace.
It's lovely.
Really.
Nice. Robert, did you have any? Sorry.
No, I
think
didn't. Sorry. I was on double mute, so it took a second. No, I don't. Just here still.
Oh, I'm not missing. Lyric, do you want to do yours now?
Yeah.
Or any?
It almost goes less after those, but yeah, I can
Sorry.
maybe no, that's okay. I'm gonna stick with the lovely vibe. I'm gonna go for the loveliest of the ones that I have and maintain some loveliness. This is called Apartment, Sweet Apartment by Megan Valley. We must be doing something right if after vacation the only place I want to be is the tiny island of our Brooklyn apartment, overheated and too expensive and ours. The familiar whiff of cat shit upon entering, because there was no other spot for the litter box. The questionable expiration dates in our fridge. Our fridge. I still like the way it sounds. The windows that don't lock. The neighbor's kitten who sometimes sneaks in to our living room when we forget about the fire escape. The fire escape. Too many books bending the shelves and more stacked on unused chairs. Our old loyal dog, our full-sized bed, and the jar of shiny money saving up to buy us a queen. I know that every rent check mailed is a promise. Every split grocery bill says, I will be here tomorrow. I will save you half of this perfect grapefruit. Every time we complain about the cost of this city, but don't leave, we are saying, worst comes to worst, I will eat ramen noodles from the bowls of your hands.
Oh. That's fab.
Aw, I liked the bit about the like rent being promises. Or
Yeah.
I would totally eat noodles out of your hands, Eric.
but for
We'll
that
have
to
to
be
get some
comfortable,
noodles
the
next
noodles
time.
would probably not be as warm as I would want them to be.
I'll go like that first for a while. You know, we'll have a hilarious picture from next time I come visit of just like ramen noodles stringing through my hands in Katie's face.
Ideal. Mike, do you want to?
Mine are all kindness related.
That's okay. We can mix things up.
Okay.
I didn't have any. I'm not editing.
Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll have a little diddly one to start with, I think. This is by Emily Dickinson. And it's called If I Can Stop One Heart from Breaking. If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life in aching, or cool one in pain, or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not live in vain.
Nice.
Oh, sweet.
I've got another little one from Brian Bilston. This one, The Kindness of Strangers. There is beauty that walks in the darkness, makes its way among the bombs and the broken lives, offers blankets and shoulders to cry on, puts on kettles and bandages, mends what it can, and asks for not one thing back as it wraps up in its arms the troubled night and waits for the morning and its pale sunlight.
You are living up to your wholesome reputation as being absolutely adorable.
It's true.
And you're even more snuggleable wearing your snuggle thing.
My hooded blanket. It's so warm and cozy. Everyone should have one. Actually, you could
Everyone
probably
should
all.
come and share yours.
I was about to say you could probably all fit inside it. To be
It
honest.
looks like we all might be able to cuddle in it.
Yeah.
Heather.
Before I forget to mention it, I do have one really powerful one on connection that we should definitely not read next because it would be extremely jarring, but it should have like some pretty heavy content warnings for suicide, but also with a heavy Frankie comment of everything is going to be okay by the end of the poem. I absolutely promise you it ends on hope everything will be okay. So there's no pressure to listen to it. If that's just not a thing you want to hear today at all, just shoot me a message or just say nope in the chat or whatever. And I'll just put that out there before reading it to see if people are up for it. And we can read other poems and let that simmer.
Cool. Good.
As a lead in or a lead out of that one, I have a lot lighter one about, I guess, self-kindness.
Nice.
I feel like that'd be a really good lead out of it.
Well, As an intermediary for people to have time, I've got one called The Gift by Lee Young Lee. To pull a metal splinter from my palm, my father recited a story in a low voice. I watched his lovely face and not the blade. Before the story ended, he'd removed the iron sliver I thought I'd die from. I can't remember the tale, but I hear his voice, but I hear his voice still. A well of dark water, a prayer. As I recall his hands, 2 measures of tenderness he laid against my face. The flames of discipline he raised above my head. Had you entered the afternoon, you would have thought you saw a man planting something in a boy's palm, a silver tear, a tiny flame. Had you followed that boy, you would have arrived here, where I bend over my wife's right hand. Look now how I shave her thumbnail down, so carefully she feels no pain. Watch as I lift the splinter out. I was 7 when my father took my hand like this, and I did not hold that shard between my fingers and think, metal that will bury me, christen it little assassin, or going deep for my heart. And I would not lift my wound up and cry, death visited here. I did what a child does when he's given something to keep. I kissed my father.
That ending.
I have another one by the same poet, so maybe I'll go do that one too. And then maybe one from Katie. This one's called Eating Together. In the steamer is the trout seasoned with slivers of ginger, 2 sprigs of green onion, and sesame oil. We shall eat it with rice for lunch, brother, sister, my mother, who will taste the sweetest meat of the head, holding between her fingers deftly, the way my father did 2 weeks ago. Then he lay down to sleep like a snow-covered road, winding through pines older than him, without any travelers, and lonely for no one.
Can you send me a link to that if you happen to read it from the internet?
Yeah, they're both on the Poetry Foundation. I'll put links on the website afterwards.
I have one called A Lyric Afterwards, which I thought I would read because Lyric's here and it's Lyric's birthday.
And it's your birthday!
Again, with everything's going to be okay warning. There was a taut dryness all that summer, and you sat each day in the hot garden until those uniformed comedians filled the street with their big white ambulance, fetching you and bringing you back to me. Far from the sea of ourselves we waited and prayed for the tight blue silence to give. In your absence, I climbed to a square room where there were dried flowers, folders of sonnets and crossword puzzles. Call them musical snuff boxes or mannered anachronisms. They were all too uselessly intricate, caskets of the dead spirit. Their bitter constraints and formal pleasures were a style of being perfect in despair. They spoke with the vicious, trapped crying of a wren. But that has changed now. And when I see you walking by the river, a step from me, there is this great kindness everywhere, now in the grace of the world and always.
Katie.
Aww.
Oh, that's lovely. I have a nice kindnessy one.
Nice.
Go nicely with that one.
Go Mike, go Mike. I recognise that book.
Yeah, I think you
I
probably
thought
can
I
guess
won't
which.
look at poems from that book because I know that Mike has it.
Oh, bless you. Because I almost pinged you earlier actually to say, were you thinking of reading this one? Because it's, yeah, you can probably guess which one it is. It's the Nikita Gill one called Surprisingly Kindness. because it was easiest to search for, because I knew what it was called. Okay, kindness. And maybe it is easier to learn kindness in these times, when the whole world is like a small child with a fever, trying her very best to make herself better. Maybe we will find our unity in the near losing of everything, where we have no choice but to depend on each other. This is what it takes to realize we're in this together. A man helps someone he dislikes because they are in danger. A neighbor delivers groceries to everyone ill on her street. Old friends forgive each other and stop acting like they are strangers. Maybe this time, this is what the revolution looks like. People helping each other despite their differences, understanding truly that without the aid of others, we would all be in this alone.
That was beautiful.
Yay, yay, Nikita Girl, yay. Yay, Katie, for getting me the book that got me into Nikita Girl. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you, Mike.
Do y'all want to get sad for a second? Are people up for that?
I have seen no objections.
I love this poem. I came across it on an internet deep dive once and had many feelings. So now you all can have feelings. It's called Living Proof by Andrea Gibson, who is the partner of the last poet I read. I have a few happy friends. I ask them about being happy the same way my high school friends ask me about being gay. So what do people do exactly? How do you do it? Their answers are never as freaky as I would hope. Almost always they answer God or booze. One I don't tolerate, the other I'm told doesn't tolerate me. I'm fascinated with this idea of getting high on life. I imagine people on their backs in lilac fields, snorting the lines the planes leave in the sky, waking with honeymoons in their bloodstreams. Me, I often feel like I'm the vaccine for goosebumps. I can't remember the last time someone commented on my sunny disposition. That doesn't mean I haven't tried to juice the sun for every holy drop. No one stands by passively while their joy gets lost in the dark. I know it is its own injury, spending too much of your life just holding yourself together. I've known that since the first time I tried to die. I was too ashamed to go back and get the stitches out on time, so they scarred as badly as the wound. It's the one part of me I never stopped thinking ugly. 20 tiny holes, framing a would-be flatline I still can't look at without seeing the light going out in my best friend's eyes while she watched the doctor's needle close the letter I swore to never send. The last, and I mean the last time, I tried to return myself to sender was a year ago this June. After 5 months so sick, I was certain my stomach would never know a butterfly again. I got so low I had to look up to see rock bottom, and ghosted by hope, I got in my car and started driving toward a dead end, a cliff that had been my backup plan if that pain got stronger than I am. Now I gotta let you know, this is a true story. On my way to the end that day, I was already mostly gone. Clumps of my own hair covering the dashboard from me failing to weed the hell from my mind. I was sobbing and snaking around my own neck. When I looked up from the steering wheel and saw a stranger above on the overpass, holding on to the wrong side of the rail with one hand. His arm was as taut as a kite string, about to lift his body into the air and fly into 4 rows of traffic. The stranger and I had the same idea, But as soon as I saw him, my eyes locked on him like two screeching red lights that couldn't stop begging, "Stop, stop, stop, stop." I was the last car to pass before the fire trucks and ambulances raced to clot the vein of traffic, to tourniquet the road when the man jumped, his death, his body went graveyard, the windshield of someone driving home with their baby in the back seat. I watched rescue workers run to try to talk him off the ledge, while I shot out of my car behind the overpass and started circling in the madness of being a twister, praying for someone else's son not to go down, pacing in the mind mangle of being someone on my way to die, stopping to tell somebody else not to. I might never know if he saw me, but I was haunting the ground, punching my hands into the tornado of my grief to grab each piece of my own lost mind, so I could get my footing long enough to clearly ask the air beneath this man to catch him like a snowflake on the tongue, a tongue that might also whisper, "Sweet, sweet soul, heaven is in the other direction. Please don't make gravity play God. I've heard there are fields, acres of lilacs, like petaled purple hearts, blooming only to pull us through, and all you have to do is holler your name into a canyon and hear someone else's name echoed back." Never in my life did I want more to keep my blood blue. Did I want more to live than when I looked up and saw myself in someone else, trying to become the sky. I didn't even know him, but I know it would have killed me to watch him die. So at 12:31 p.m., when he decided not to, when he came down, when the road opened, I did too. My whole world, my whole mind, went home with living proof of what I'd only before known in theory, that we are truly not alone in this, that our veins are absolutely strings tied to other people's kites, that our lives are connected, that my butterflies are never gone. They're just flying around in someone else's belly sometimes. I pray right now they're with that stranger. I pray he's goosebumped with a mountain range of joy. I pray he's high on the long line rivered across the country of his open palm held out the window while driving and singing along to a stranger's favorite song he suddenly knows all the words to, but he doesn't know why.
I adore Andrea Gibson's work so much.
Love all of the layers of connection in that one. There's just so many.
Yeah, that one's beautiful.
If you
Did
want,
you say you had one to come after it? Sorry.
How on earth do you follow that?
I mean, I have one of their sillier ones that's more of a love poem if you want to just like completely jerk the mood in a different direction.
Sounds good.
This is a series of shorter ones in one called Letter to the Editor, and this book was edited by Megan. So, you know, I have a bit of a theme with my poems today. 1. There was a typo in the book. The line read, "I want to marry," but Mary was spelled Merry. I thought, that's what I want to do. Marry somebody until their blush paints the town red. 2. Years ago, I went home with a woman, and right before our lips met for the first time, she jumped out of the bed, ran to her closet, and grabbed a stethoscope. She put the earpieces in my ears, slipped the knob down her shirt onto her heart, and whispered, "I want you to listen to my heart speed up when you kiss me." I kissed her. and I listened as it beat faster and faster. I gave her an apple when I left. She kept the seeds and has called me Johnny ever since. But we didn't live happily ever after. 3. When I was a kid, I had an imaginary friend named Johnny. He did all the bad stuff. He spilled my father's ashtray on the white living room rug. He paid Tim Willendanger 25 cents to pee in his own hands. He snuck into Julie Hill's toy room and ripped the eyeballs off of all her favorite teddy bears. He called Beth Hayward a stupid poop. She was a stupid poop. 4. If you have an imaginary friend as an adult, there's a good chance you need a whole lot of therapy. I had been paying my therapist's mortgage since 2004. Johnny had dated everyone I have ever loved. 5. You were behind me in line at the coffee shop, and you heard me place my order, and you said, I don't think that's your drink. I think you've been a long time ordering the wrong kind. 5 or 6. The first night I touched you, I swore to never touch you again until I had spent an entire year pulling every button from the shirts on my back and sewing new eyes for the teddy bears. 7. You're my favorite editor. You're the only person in my whole life who has ever convinced me I could spell Mary with an E, and it could still also mean forever. 8. These are my vows. Johnny Appleseed, whose real name was Johnny Chapman, was someone who had never hurt a fly. So much so that if he spotted even one mosquito flying too close to a flame, he would jump up and put out his own campfire on even the coldest, darkest nights. That's the type of Johnny I intend to be. The heartbeat is actually the sound made by the heart valves closing. If you, my love, ever hold a stethoscope to my chest, I will tell you to listen for the silence in between. What is and what will always be yours. It's the sound of my heart, finally opening.
Nice.
I have one that could go next.
Awesome.
Find it, of course. This is Somewhere I Have Never Traveled by E.E. Cummings. And the last line of yours reminded me of it. Somewhere I have never traveled, gladly beyond any experience. Your eyes have their silence. In your most frail gesture are things which enclose me, or which I cannot touch because they are too near. Your slightest look easily will unclose me, though I have closed myself as fingers. You open always, petal by petal myself, as spring opens, touching skillfully, mysteriously, her first rose. Or, if you wish to be close to me, I and my life will shut very beautifully, suddenly, as when the heart of this flower imagines the snow carefully everywhere descending. Nothing which we are to perceive in this world equals the power of your intense fragility, whose texture compels me with the colour of its countries, rendering death and forever with each breathing. I do not know what it is about you that closes and opens. Only something in me understands. The voice of your eyes is deeper than all roses. Nobody, not even the rain, has such small hands.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Rain has hands.
Just all the feelings.
Mike, did you have any others that you wanted to share?
Yeah, there's, I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Like I say, it's more about being kind to yourself. So it's not quite as wholesome as Katie's one, actually. So it'd be a step backwards.
Being kind to yourself is very wholesome.
Okay, I'll give it a try. So Nikita Gill again. It's called Loving What Is Broken. This book. It is the way of the world to teach us of the things that others desire most about you, that you learn to love most about yourself. Your flame-hot flesh, your capacity to give without taking, your inability to say no in the face of love, your quickness to amend, your ability to nurture without nourishment for yourself. But have you considered that it is the parts of you that are broken, which others refuse to love, that need your affection the most?
Totally wholesome.
Be kind to yourself, people.
I have actually another Andrea Gibson one that could work. Oh, that's, yeah, loving the parts of yourself that the world has told you not to and such. This one's called First Love. I don't think I ever really kissed any boys. I think my tongue had just been punching their tongues. But as soon as you loved me, all my callus went away. My hands so soft it hurt to pray. You'd pick me up at my Catholic college and sleep for hours until we reached your house. The first time in my life I'd ever rested. The first time I didn't have to play a role I'd never really wanted to get. That's the medicine it is, to finally be seen by someone. I'd crack a smile, and you'd point to my chest and say, "What just broke?" I'd throw my body in the river, but you'd say my name right, and I'd become a stone that skipped. Do you remember the first record where we didn't have to change the pronouns to sing along? We'd gone so many years without music that knew us. Music that knew you could arch your back and I'd have proof that the earth was round. Bless who we were then. Bless who we still are. My straight friends tease me because all my best friends are my ex-loves. But a wise heart told me it's the most tender part of queerness, how we've all lost so much family. When we find people we call family, we'll do almost anything to not let go. Thank goodness for the ice storm that trapped us in that cheap hotel where I drank an entire bottle of something awful with my fisherman's accent that I hadn't yet chased away. I finally told you I'd loved you since we were 15, playing basketball under the streetlights beside the poorest part of the sea. The ice storm froze the world outside into a photograph of the past, while I kneeled down and kissed my future onto your kneecaps. 2 decades talking to Jesus. That was the first time I heard him talk back. Months later, church bells ringing through my dorm room, I wrote my senior thesis about you, and no one knew how hard I was praying to stop hiding myself in metaphor, to be brave enough to carve the truth into the chapel door. Only you can imagine how much time I spent picking out my outfit the night you took me to my first queer bar in Portland, Maine, the biggest city I'd ever walked through. I was so excited and so scared that we'd be spotted or killed on our way inside. We sat in the parking lot for over an hour till I changed my mind, and you drove me home, mascara pouring down my brand new boy shirt. I couldn't have guessed there'd ever come a time like the winter we traveled to Blue Hill to visit your mother, asleep when we'd arrived after midnight. She'd lit our room with candles and rested, a joint in the center of the bed. Neither of us were any good at smoking, but we pulled her welcome into our lungs like it was 100 years of oxygen. Up until then, we didn't know anyone in the world would celebrate us, wiping the steam from the glass to see each other blushing in the same bathroom mirror in the morning. I was thinking about that a few months ago when I was invited back to my Catholic college to read my poems for the first time. You in the front row, near the nurses and the school president and the teacher who had given me an A on the manuscript I had been too terrified to write your name in. Mandy, I know so much has not gotten easier. I know so much has not gotten better, but that moment knocked the wind out of me. Time, finally being the kind of father we all deserve. The world turning its porch light on for us. It was so bright. I could feel the freckles on my 15-year-old face, warming in its glow. I could feel hope traveling backward to find us, to whisper into our chests, there will be music for you one day. Oh,
Nice.
Katie,
Oh.
did I give you feelings?
Oh.
Absolutely.
I love that poem so much. I definitely cried while reading it earlier today, so you're in good company. I was emotionally prepped for round 2.
I have a very wholesome poem about being connected to nature.
Yay! Sounds good.
Hey!
Mike, I'm sorry, this is not new to you. It was in the thing last Sunday.
Love this to you. It's all good.
And it's called The Lost Words Blessing. Enter the wild with care, my love, and speak the things you see. Let new names take and root and thrive and grow. And even as you travel far from heather, crag and river, may you, like the little fisher, set the stream alight with glitter. May you enter now as otter, without falter into water. Look to the sky with care, my love, and speak the things you see. Let new names take and root and thrive and grow. And even as you journey on, past dying stars exploding, like the gilded one in flight, leave your little gifts of light. And in the dead of night, my darling, find the gleaming eye of starling. Like the little aviator, sing your heart to all dark matter. Walk through the world with care, my love, and sing the things you see. Let new names take and root and thrive and grow. And even if you stumble through macar sands eroding, let the fern unfurl your grieving. Let the heron still your breathing. Let the selkie swim you deeper, oh my little silver seeker. Even as the hour grows bleaker, be the singer and the speaker. And in city and in forest, let the larks become your chorus. And when every hope is gone, let the raven call you home.
Yay!
Eggs.
That's wonderful.
Nice. Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you, Mike. I went and bought the books, the poems. Don't know where I'm going to put the Lost Words one, though.
Is that the one
Is that the
fills
really
house?
big one?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know you went out and got them. That's good. That's fab.
I feel like that one sounds like it needs one of those like tray shelves just for itself, as if it's a picture.
Or just use the mantelpiece above the fire.
Yeah.
Instead of a mirror, just have that big book.
Books are good mirrors.
They
I've got a
definitely-
picture of Orkney, so. Sorry, Lyric.
I was just agreeing about books being good mirrors.
Especially poetry books. They're like, look, you have all these feelings.
You can
Like-
feel things.
You know these things you thought you were feeling? Well, what if your feelings were really these other feelings on these feelings on these feelings? It's like a mirror plus an x-ray view.
Uh-oh. I've got 3 more. Does anybody else have things they want to share? I've got 2 that sort of have train themes, so I'll do them. And then I've got a Naomi Shaibanai, which is a good one to end on.
I have one about dancing.
Cool. Maybe I'll do two short ones and then yours.
I've read lots, so I don't need more. But I also have a nice one about a pancake.
Everyone loves pancakes.
Heard it before, probably. It's a really nice one, though. So, you know, pancakes.
Pancakes. Cool. This one's called Impossible Friendships by Adam Zagajewski. For example, with someone who no longer is, or exists only in yellow letters. Or long walks beside a stream whose depths hold hidden porcelain cups and the talks about philosophy with a timid student or the postman. A passerby with proud eyes whom you'll never know. Friendship with this world, even more perfect, if not for the salty smell of blood. The old man sipping coffee in Saint-Lazare, who reminds you of someone. Faces flashing by on local trains, the happy faces of travelers, headed perhaps to a splendid ball or beheading. And friendships with yourself, since after all, you don't know who you are. And this one's called All Trains Are Going Local by Timothy Liu. Slowing down your body enough to feel. Thought you were at a standstill, but you were only slowing down enough to feel the pain. There are worse things than running to catch a train, twisting your ankle, the afternoon fucked. Running to get to or away from. The stranger who helps you up wants to know. You who are used to anything scribbled on a prescription blank. I just want the pain to go away, you say, surprised to find yourself reaching for someone else's hand.
Both of those. Trains don't normally give me that many feelings.
I love a good train, but yeah, I agree. They don't usually give you feelings like that. Katie and then Lyric. Lyric and then Katie. Katie and then Lyric.
This is by Susan Wicks, and it's called Joy. The authorities do not permit us to take pictures. This dance is ephemeral, as sex as or April dogwoods, the pink-skirted ripple of her body, her emaciated trunk gleaming, the snapped wishbone of her thigh sparkling light. The pink wit of her flexed foot stirs us unaccountably to laughter. This is the dancer's way, this meeting of tangent bodies, this cool coffee at cafe tables, the momentary pink stasis of words, the fading blossom drifted from chestnuts. This must be spring, her limbs own joy as his arms lift her, carry her on his shoulders into darkness. We may not take pictures. We look and look, drinking the small death of each step, each contact of flesh on sliding flesh, the precise circles of what we crave, the gasps that express us.
Beautiful.
Oh. This pancake by Megan Valley. It's midnight and you want a pancake. You need this pancake. Desperately, you say, rolling over and then, baby, please. I'm only halfway in this world. My hair still stuck in the mouth of a monster in my dream. But you call me baby, and suddenly I'm downstairs, tying an apron around the curving small of my back, even though I'm only wearing underwear and one of your old t-shirts. I crack the egg into a bowl and whisk it in a whisper as to not wake our housemates or any of our many dogs. It is ridiculous, but you are hungry. And what else are these hands for if not to create something sweet for your holy mouth? I imagine myself in my first women's studies course in college, that girl who would have sooner smacked you with the spatula than flipped you a flapjack whenever you asked. So certain of her hands that they would never be wrist deep in syrupy, soapy dishwater in the sleepiest hours of the night. That girl who thought marriage was a weapon to keep her small and broke, and now this woman who has proposed to you almost every night, once with a firefly for a diamond, once with a strand of her own hair tied around your naked finger. If you'd asked me to, I would have found a hen for the eggs, coyote for love, that I am. I would have tapped a tree and waited for its slow maple to spit into my hands. I would have become the tree, stuck a spigot in me and asked, "You're thirsty, my love? Then drink."
I hadn't heard that one before.
Really? I love that one. Good, then I'm glad you got to hear it. That was like one of the first poems from that book that I was like, pancake.
Pancakes. Does anybody have anything else that they want to add in? Or should I do a last one? Finish it. So, as Lyric suggested, Kindness by Naomi Shihab Nye, I thought would be a good one to end on. Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment, like salt in a weakened broth. What you held in your hand, what you counted and carefully saved, all this must go, so that you know how desolate the landscape can be between the regions of kindness. How you ride and ride, thinking the bus will never stop. The passengers eating maize and chicken will stare out the window forever. Before you learn the tender gravity of kindness, you must travel where the Indian in a white poncho lies dead by the side of the road. You must see how this could be you, how he too was someone who journeyed through the night with plans and the simple breath that kept him alive. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know as the other deepest thing, or you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows, and you see the size of the cloth. Then it is only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to gaze at bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, "It is I you have been looking for," and then goes with you everywhere like a shadow or a friend. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you for hosting.
Yeah.
And
we
nice.
enjoy-
I'm also looking forward to Dirt and Decomposition and all the worm poems on the 22nd. An evening of compost. Yeah. Should we say goodbye to the Ketchup Crew? Bye, Ketchup Crew. We love
Bye.
you.
Oh.
Bye.